Okay. All right.
That was a new event for me there.
I like it.
It's very quick.
They will be directly impacted.
Okay. Get him out every now and then. So this time, yeah, probably drove or done something down that hill. All right.
$6.
Soon as we get Van back in the seat, we're gonna go.
Yeah, relevant.
Okay, I'm gonna call a Loudon County Commission meeting for April 3rd, 2023 to order. I get to open the meeting, so if you would stand and face the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, if you bow your heads. Lord, thank you for the many blessings you have bestowed upon us. We ask you to bless this commission meeting and the commissioners who serve our great county. We ask that you watch over our first responders, our military personnel, and our law enforcement officers. Rest in peace, Loudon County Units 904, 910, and 919. Richmond Unit 71, 764. Your family and friends miss you. We ask all of this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Tammy, call the roll.
Randolph,
Here.
James.
Here.
Jenkins.
Here.
Cohen. Here. Satterfield.
Here.
Whitfield.
Here.
Cohen.
Here.
Morrison.
Here.
Shaver.
Here.
Waller.
Present.
Okay. Next up is the adoption of the April 3rd, 2023 County Commission agenda. I would like to make one addition. After the reading and acceptance of the March 6, 2023 Loudon County Commission minutes, I would like to add Joe Morrison. So can I get a motion or any changes?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second that.
We got a second by Commissioner Randolph. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next up is the reading and acceptance of the March 6, 2023 Loudon County Commission minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as were written and sent to us previously.
Second.
Rosemary? Got a motion by Commissioner Shaver, seconded by Commissioner Quillen to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next up, Joe Morrison, Commissioner Morrison.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve County Attorney Kyle Baisley and the law firm of Long, Ragsdale and Waters to negotiate with Bell West Point LLC in an attempt to reach a settlement in the best interest of the county relating to Bell West Point LLC's West Point development as it relates to pending litigation against Lenore City. Also, approval of Vance Shaver to act as county commission representative to be involved with such negotiations by Kyle Baisley on behalf of the county, and approval of Mayor Bradshaw's execution of any final settlement documents resulting from such negotiations on behalf of the county.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Morrison, seconded by Commissioner Waller. Any further discussion? Okay, I'll call for a roll call vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Okay, motion carries.
That wasn't a roll call. If you meant to do roll call, it's not required. We roll call and then we voice voted, so.
Sorry, my mistake.
All right.
It's been a long day. Sorry,
All right.
but anyway, motion is approved. Okay, next up is general public comments. Blake Moore, stand up.
I feel lonely. I think I'm the only one speaking tonight, but as you can see, there's only 73 pages of my presentation tonight.
Okay,
You think I'm, he's seen it. He knows what I'm talking about. Actually, you've seen it too, so. I'll try to shorten it down just a little bit. Thank you for the opportunity to speak briefly before you. My name is Blake Moore, and I've lived in Loudon County with my wonderful, smart wife since 2013. Well, she's been my wife since before then, but we've lived here since 2013. My comments tonight are related to what I feel we live in, which is an information desert. We have an incredible county here. We've got some incredible leaders within our county, but the challenge is a lot of the information that I think could help make our county better is just not available. At a couple of recent commission meetings, Commissioner Shaver rightly mentioned several bills floating around in the state legislature that could negatively affect our county. I fully agree with his concerns. I don't say I agree with him very often, but and this time I do. And I share some of the same types of concerns at a local level here in Loudon. For example, each of us have witnesses the challenges last year associated with the county landfill contract. Numbers have been floated around that the county could be liable for post-closure costs of at least $4 million for the landfill and potentially $13 million for total cost of closure and post-closure. Now, I know there's a lot of conversations that go around about that, but the reality is for the general person in the community, you have to go and search and hopefully find information related to that. More recently, we all witnessed the debates regarding a growth planning issue between Loudon County and Lenore City. I still think that a public forum, and I think we're getting ready to address some of that, should still be held with all parties, including city and county elected officials and associated attorneys before this proceeds much further. I'll let you guys figure out what's going to happen with that. And Vance, since you're going to be leading that, we hopefully will get some results. The recent purchase of land to build a new high school within the county may be a needed step to serve county students, but I can't find any documents within our county websites regarding how the long-term debt will be managed, best practices for classroom sizes, the current effect of open enrollment policy for county students, etc. An informed public should have easy access to information regarding the operations of our county, but unfortunately, this is not always the case. For example, when you search online, you find the following within the county budgets tab on our county website. As far as I know, there is still no finalized budget for 2022-2023 that is posted on the website. Right now, it's just a proposal. The last published documents related to the capital projects financial report for period ending December 31st, 2018 are listed there, but nothing more recent. The latest debt report is from 2012, and when you click on the links, they are all broken, and it is stated that the documents no longer reside on this server. The report of debt obligations is from 2015. The education capital projects document is dated 2014. The debt management policy is dated 2011. The solid solid waste disposal link only includes information from 2014, and it's related to a survey and a workshop cover letter. Under the boards and committees link tab, the only topics are for complete county commissioner list, but not a complete list of committees, their members, background, and potential compensation. The 2021 reapportionment redistricting committee is listed there. And on the actual solid waste disposal commission tab, the last contract shown is for Santec from 2007. Under innovations, under the same tab, there is a document from 2006, and the workshop questionnaire is from 2014. The last approved minutes from the Solid Waste Commission is from June of 2022. Full transparency for all committees should be a given since our taxpayer dollars fund all of these activities. And the committee members do receive the nominal stipend for some committees for their attendance at meetings and workshops. If you're getting paid, we should have the results. I am not saying the committees are not qualified, but there's an old saying that states, trust but verify. Regarding the value of our historical records and their access, I know this is a sore topic for many people, and I rarely, if ever, hear about the Loudon County Virtual Archives and the Loudon County History Project updates that are on the county website. Although I know there are some people that may love the real paper in their hands, the feel of that real paper. I know some of our commissioners don't even like their fancy new laptops that they've got. They still like the paper. I won't mention Van Shaver by name. But society as a whole also now expect these type of records to be available in an online venue so that all citizens can access them at their discretion. This would also provide a prudent backup should any records that are deemed essential be destroyed. Unless it is required by law, online access for all records should be the default, not just a consideration. Louis Pasteur had a quote that said, "Chance favors the prepared mind." And it suggests that the better prepared and more knowledgeable we are, the more we'll be able to take advantages of challenges and needs. My comments tonight are centered around a plea for transparency at all levels of our local government and for the creation of a detailed plan to address current and future needs for information. All of this is important because of increasing costs associated with infrastructure and the unknowns associated with what is inevitably going to happen with the cost of our population growth, the cost of servicing our own current and future debt, etc. In my career, budgeting and planning has always started with what is needed as a required activity, and every expenditure must be justified with each new year. Proceeding otherwise can be compared to driving down a narrow country road at night without your lights on. You may survive, but you also may have a horrific accident. I've shared with several of you a presentation I developed last year that highlighted short-term and long-term planning concerns for our community. Much of the content of my presentation was addressed as well in the recently completed Thrive Economic Strategic Plan that was spearheaded by the Loudon County Economic Development Agency. My request for you tonight is that you consider my comments and please let me know how we can work together as a community to solve this lack of information and this information desert, as well as a focused approach for current and long-term planning, including a communication plan that addresses where do we want to be, how are we going to pay the bills when we get there, what are all the committees, commissions, councils, and what are their charters and participants' qualifications. And all of these things are being presented in the best light possible. I appreciate everything you guys do. We've got an incredible commission, but at the end of the day, if the regular constituents of the community don't know what's going on, then quite honestly, it makes your job a lot harder. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blake.
With that being said, Mr. Chairman, Matt, have we got any feedback at all on our,
I'm putting the finishing touches on the proposal now, RFP now, and it should go out by next week.
okay, give it a kick in the rear end, see if we can't get it done.
But let me be real clear, regardless of what we do on that, regardless of how much we spend on a website and they're up there, somebody still has to give the information. We may pay $20,000 a year for a company to do this, but if the information isn't sent to that company, there's still nothing there. many of the things I've seen your proposal, man, I love it, I agree 100%, but much of the stuff he wants to see is stuff that would never come through the county. We don't even know the answers to. That little bit of website stuff I do takes hours and hours per week. I mean, data entry, I guess is the old time word for it. Somebody has to physically put the stuff in. Old budgets, the budget still says proposed, well, that's what went in last year, and it is the adopted budget, so even though it still says proposed on it. But somebody, even if we're just doing our in-house website, somebody has to send that down to our IT guys. That's the missing link for our county stuff. Outside of our county stuff, I don't know how you put it all together. I've really tried. It's so overwhelming. I don't know how you do it.
My intention is not just a website, but is to put somebody in charge of going and getting it. Okay, now, I'm like you, it's a waste of money just to say we're gonna design a website and there it is and
Yeah.
But you gotta have the data.
expect all the elected officials and everybody to do it. I think we've got to the point now where when we do this, we need to go ahead and kick in whatever the money takes and have somebody in charge to make sure that information gets to the website.
That's what it would take.
You know
And
what
I agree with Blake. I mean, it's embarrassing. I mean, that our website is so outdated. I was looking on there the other day for something and it was like page unknown. And, I mean, I couldn't run my business that way. I don't know how people find out any information about the county
They call
through the
Anita.
website.
They
Yeah,
call
call
Anita.
Anita, right. But I think he's got some great points.
But I think it's time, like I said, not just a new website, but somebody in charge of it. And also like Van, there's some that say, I don't know where you go get some of that stuff, if you get it, but we can do better than what we're
Oh,
doing.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have a gentleman came in late, after the sign-up sheet was gone. He would like to say a word, if that'd be okay with the commission.
Come on up.
Mr. Leach? As long as he's not gonna talk bad about me. If that's it, we're not gonna, no, I'm kidding.
Thank you. I had my grandsons today and they got all discombobulated, got here as quick as I could, but, good evening. I'm Rich Leach. I'm a resident of Fifth District, Mr. Shaver's district and, Mr. Morrison's as well. I'm resident of Fifth District. I'm also the coordinator for the Libertarian Party of Loudon County. I'm here this evening to speak about two things. I'll be brief. One that's on the agenda and one that's not, but was addressed with a resolution a few years ago. I'm here to urge you to reject the land purchase. It's item 7 on the agenda by voting no if the vote does happen tonight, which is my understanding. I'll briefly tell you why. And I'm here to remind you that the people of Loudon County expect you, and especially the sheriff of Loudon County, to stand firm against any state or federal law that violates our right to defend ourselves and our property from aggression. First, the $3 million purchase of the industrial property in Greenback. 2 weeks ago, I sat in this room and heard with my own ears the executive director of the Loudon County Economic Development Agency sell you on the idea of shelling out $3 million of Loudon County taxpayer money so that you could be in control of what gets built there. Not the owners of the property, not the citizens of Loudon County through zoning regulations or whatever. You, by straight up taking a whole 2 weeks to consider it and then potentially putting each resident of Loudon County on the hook for their share of $3 million on a piece of property whose next highest bid, at least according to what I heard last at the workshop, was like $300,000 less than what the request was. I read a short book called Economics in One Lesson by Henry Hazlitt. In the first chapter, Hazlitt reminds the reader that economics is haunted by more fallacies than any other silence, but that they all boil down to one fallacy, the fallacy of ignoring the long-term consequences of a policy on the rest of the people, and only instead paying attention to the short-term effects of that policy, what it will have on the few people that it's designed to benefit. It might be true that the people of Greenback will benefit from this deal in the short run, I don't know. Maybe there really is a rock quarry being considered, again, I don't know. What do I know? But the people of Greenback are also Loudon County residents, and they'll be paying a share of that $3 million, even if it's hidden in rhetoric calling it an investment. And when Loudon County does it for the potentially affected people in Greenback, how long before we gotta do it for the city of Loudon? How long before Lenore City wants one of those investments as well? What comes around goes around, for sure. None of that even addresses the additional expenses of developing the property or whatever else we'd have to do to put somebody in there, or allow them to be in there, whatever. Governments exist to protect the property rights of the people and not to violate them. If people in Greenback don't want a rock quarry, they can band together and prohibit its construction by either pooling their resources and buying it themselves, or by proving that it'll violate their property rights by its very existence. Whether or not there's a rock quarry being considered, I do not consent to my money being spent to stop it. And I bet I'm not the only one. The average resident of Loudon County is trying to figure out how they're gonna keep enough gas in their car to go to work to feed their kids groceries, whose cost is rising with a price inflation rate of more than 10%. An inflation rate that's caused, by the way, by the same thing you're considering tonight, borrowing money and using it in ways that violate the rights of the citizens that you're elected to serve. Do not use Loudon County taxpayers' money to purchase this land. Finally, I want to take a minute to remind you that the people of Loudon County have another property right, the right to use legitimately acquired property to defend themselves and their property from anyone who would attempt to violate it. It's good that the Second Amendment enshrines that right. It's good that the Tennessee Constitution enshrines it. It's good that you passed a resolution declaring Loudon County as a gun sanctuary, or at least I heard it does. But the people have a right to use whatever means they have available to defend their lives and their property, whether or not these documents exist. And both this commission and the elected sheriff have an obligation to protect that right. I have no reason to think that you won't, but current events in Nashville are going to show us which Republicans are really prepared to stand by the rhetoric that got them elected. So I expect that we'll hear too as well. Do your job, stand up for what's right, and refuse to enforce any unconstitutional, illegitimate edict from Nashville or from Washington, D.C. They can't do it without local support. Nullify it by refusing to enforce it. Thank you for your time tonight and for the opportunity to address you with these concerns.
Thank you. Okay, next up is Buddy Bradshaw, but he's not here tonight, so I'll fill in for him.
You're gonna have to pick up a little on your girth if you do.
Okay, first item is, since Tracy retired Friday
I'll make a
officially.
motion, we confirm Aaron Rice as the new finance director.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Who seconded? Okay,
Either one. Take your pick.
Yeah.
we'll put it on Chase. Okay. We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
There you go, Miss Rice.
Aaron, welcome to the NFL.
Budget meetings start 10 a.m. Wednesday morning for the next 2 months.
Okay,
That is true.
That is true.
welcome. We're glad to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I
Okay.
won't give a speech like Tracy did.
You're welcome to.
But thank you anyways.
See you Wednesday morning. Okay, next up, boards and committees. There's an appointment we have to make for the Solid Waste Commission. As you know, Commissioner Randolph stepped down from the Solid Waste Commission.
Retired.
Retired. And the mayor recommends Larry Rowland.
I make a motion, we accept mayor's nomination, Larry Rowland.
Okay, we got a motion by Chase Randolph,
Second.
seconded by Bill. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Tell them welcome to the Solid Waste Commission.
I will.
Next up, there's a settlement for the opioid settlement that went across the, I guess, the state, and we get a portion of it, but we have to put a resolution in order to participate. It's in your packet. Anybody care to make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion, we accept the opioid whatever, give Aaron Rice whatever authority she needs to handle.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Shaver, seconded by Commissioner Waller. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The next three are proclamations.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion, we approve all 3 of the proclamations that we've dealt with at the workshop.
Second.
Okay, we got a second. Commissioner Quillen. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Jack Walls, you're up next.
Thank you for having me here this evening. I'd just like to start out, I'm not here affiliated with any political entity, so I'm not here representing any district either. I'm representing public at large. I was not here at our last meeting trying to convince you to invest in a property. I'm here to simply provide you with information, and you decide on whether or not you want to invest in this project. Starting out, I had some questions from a few commissioners. I wanted to address the Center 75, the property sale, and I think clarify a few things. I know in the past, Mr. Schaefer has thrown around some numbers of the total investment in Center 75. You have a sheet in front of you, and out there we also have it digitally. We're going to reflect that. Go a little fast there. So the properties at the beginning of this spreadsheet you had in front of you, those are the properties that are currently already closed to date. That is a total collected to date is 41 acres of the 280 we bought back in. And I mean, the county at 60%, the city at 40%. Land was purchased in 1999. 280 acres were purchased for a purchase price of $2,455,575. Excuse me. So to date, you've already collected to date 1.7 of that back in county revenue. You still have remaining out there at Center 75 a total of 252 acres with a potential to bring in $6.8 million. The properties under contract is this middle sheet you see, the middle line there. That is Project Panda that we're trying to close. We're under a 120-day due diligence period. The properties that have been identified here as potential for sale are taken off the tax assessor's website. That's where he's appraised these properties at. And so, just want to bring that to your attention. The map actually shows the rest of the property that's out there. If you go back one slide, please. This relates to the spreadsheet I provided you tonight. You can see that the numbers of the tracts that have sold and the tracts remaining. I bring this to your attention just for the simple fact that you've not invested $6 million. As a county, you've only invested approximately, you got a grant and you invested $2.12 million, not $6 million. There was a grant, an EDA grant in the form of $1 million. There was basically another $1 million that was matching funds that was split 60-40 between you and the city. I know there's some of you up here that have never seen this before, so I want to provide you with the information tonight. Because there's been a lot of different numbers thrown around throughout the course of the last couple of years, and I think it's important to have a working spreadsheet so we're all on the same page. Okay. Is there any questions for me about Center 75 and our return on investment that we've so far got and what remains out there? Okay.
Jack, while you're up there, just confirm that, in reference to the rock quarry in Greenback, that property is under a 30?
My understanding, yes, sir, that's under a 30-day, that is under a 30-day contract, at this time. You know, to come to talk about the $3 million, there's more to it than just the price negotiation. There's also been budgeted money to go out and do due diligence on this piece of property. You don't go buy a piece of property unless you know what you got. So there's $150,000 appropriated for that. You know, I can't go negotiate a piece of property with anyone until I can get your blessing on what to negotiate it at. You know, we've been 2 weeks now, and I'm surprised somebody hadn't already bought the property. You know, that's where we're at. I did come talk to you, again, I'm not here to say on this, I'm just here to educate. You have in front of you is a scenario. Property in Greenback is already zoned manufacturing, so obviously somebody will buy it and probably do something with it, like perhaps a rock quarry, I don't know. But in the first scenario you have, we're looking at the yellow dots you have there, the yellow squares, that's, you see the red outline, that's the 235 acres. The yellow squares represent 400,000 square foot buildings. If you take an average cost of $160 square foot, 400,000, that gets you up to $64 million. Property, scenario one is looking at a private investment, so that means somebody comes along and buys it, does with it what they want. Scenario two is the public investment. That's where the county buys it and we market it and we can get some, a better quality of project there. So if you look at building A, I'm not gonna go into this every building, but basically the building on the left, scenario one is looking at more of a warehousing. You can see the assembly technicians are only making $31,000. That's what your typical warehouse person makes. If you go up there and you look, I put a real project on there, Project B. That's actually a project that happened down the road from us right now. Come in, invested $50 million, put 40 people to work. 500,000 square foot building. That's what we're trying to discourage here. We're trying to improve the quality of life by raising the job, the value of jobs and wages people are making. So if you go to scenario two, that's where you're trying to get more manufacturing jobs, not warehouse jobs. So in this instance, your investment from these companies are a lot higher, creating more jobs that make more money. So in that situation, when you go to your manufacturing positions, you look at production of workers and annual salaries, and the production workers that are skilled are almost double of what the unskilled labor is at warehousing. This is why this is a good opportunity for us to invest in Greenback. So I've got some people here from Greenback, the council folks that are here too, if you have questions for them tonight as well. But this is really a top opportunity for us to invest in Greenback more than one generation. Development doesn't happen overnight. Development takes time, and good development takes a long time. And this is our opportunity to invest in Greenback. I mean, I'll entertain any questions you have at this time.
I got a question that
Sir,
maybe to the Greenback, who's on the Greenback Council that's here? Okay. The way the property's currently zoned, I don't believe a rock quarry could come in without the blessing of Greenback City Council / mayor, is that correct?
Not according to what Jim Jenkins says. That the city, Loudon County has the authority over the zoning. Back in 1986, I believe it was, Greenback did at one time have the privilege to do their own zoning. I believe it was turned over to Loudon County in 1993. So I talked to Jim Jenkins, I think maybe 4 or 5 times. I know he's tired of hearing Linda Black, but anyway, he says it's zoned for M1, which means no rock quarry.
Right.
You can have something in our, like a polished rock, or any type of industry, or manufacturers, or even grave plots, And it's also zoned for F1, which is a flood zone. Now, I talked with a young man that was interested in buying the property, and I don't really like to go on what people say. I like to go to the head, to people that knows what they're talking about. A map shows that there is a blue water line vein going through the property. To me, they say that would be another reason the rock quarry could not go in there. But he has a lease on the property for at least 30 days contract, and he's down there drilling. If he has to, he says he'll go to Nashville. He has an attorney out of Knoxville. He also has an engineer. We already have 2 rock quarries in Greenback. I think his purpose is because they're going up on the price, and he buys his rock from the rock quarries. I think that's his attention, buying the quarry so he can have his property to make his own quarry. But majority of the people that has came to me, and I'm sure probably to Mr. Satterfield, the ones that I have talked to, the ones that has called me, do not want another rock quarry in there.
This commission doesn't want one either.
A rock quarry cannot go in there, and neither a housing development, that's what he told me.
as a point of clarification, Mr. Randolph, what Jim said is, in order to rezone it, that will be up to them. County Commission will never rezone. Planning Commission doesn't have the authority to rezone. If it's rezoned, then it has to come, if somebody wants to do a query, it would have to come to the Loudon County BZA. The BZA then would have the authority to approve or disapprove a quarry located on that property once rezoned to A1. In the Greenback zoning regs, they can only have a quarry in an A1. So
It's
this,
A1 agriculture.
yes, A1, that's correct.
So this is not about trying to buy a piece of property to prevent a rock quarry.
No, I just want, we've been inundated with calls about this quarry, so I wanted to address it. It's not gonna happen.
Not by us, it's not, because we're never gonna see it.
I mean,
Mr. Qualls, I'm sorry. Well, I've got a whole different question if it were,
I just wanted to clarify that. There would seem to be, the previous gentleman didn't know what was gonna be there. I just wanted to let him know that it is a serious consideration. And I'm like Linda, as far as I know, I've not had anybody in Greenback come and say, we need a rock quarry. Now, that's just it. Now, whatever else happens there, I know something will. I don't know, we can't keep it from happening, but there's a neighborhood on one side of it, a neighborhood and church on the other side of it. And I don't see the benefits. And like I said, we've got two already. And we don't need a third one. That's just on a different, I'm through with the quarry now. I broke all the rocks.
well, I'm gonna go to an entirely different topic, just simply out of convenience and because you're here and you folks on the back, stay with me. I've been told that you're the man attempting to facilitate the Loudon annexation of the 400 acres in Hotchkiss Valley. Is that true?
I'm not facilitating anything, no.
Are you helping them in any way to try to annex 400 acres in Hotchkiss Valley?
I'm helping the city. That's how I work, we advise the city. Just
Okay.
like we advise you.
If I were to tell you that without knowing, and nobody up here has told me anything, I suspect that everybody up here, almost to the person, would be opposed to an annexation in the 5th District in Hotchkiss Valley of 400 acres by Loudon City. I think I would be close to right, give or take 1 or 2. So if you're representing us, I would request that not only do you not help facilitate that, but you help protect the county's interest in this matter more so than you do the city's interest.
I'm not facilitating either
You're not
side.
involved at all.
I didn't say I wasn't involved, I said I'm not facilitating anything.
Okay, then we're hashing words. But I'm trying to be as clear as I can. I'm asking you to prevent any such absurd annexation into the Hotchkiss
I
Valley
will
area.
take that into consideration, man, yes.
I'd take it real strong.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Good, thank you. Anybody else? Thank you for your time this evening, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack.
Is there a motion needed here, or?
No.
No, Jack, thanks for the information. Thanks for
Thanks,
folks from
Jack.
Greenback for being here.
Matt Kleinschmidt,
I'll make a motion we approve the large format printer for the registered deeds office.
Second.
Second.
okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Shaver, seconded by Commissioner Waller, to lease a printer for the Register of Deeds. Any further discussion? Okay, that's money involved, you'll have to call the roll.
James,
James?
Jenkins,
Yes.
Quiller, I, Satterfield,
Yes.
Whitfield, Cohen,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Shaver,
Yes.
Waller, Randall.
Yes. Okay, motion carries.
All right, second item I've got is the courthouse phase 2 plan, and that is the complete drawings for the finishing of the restoration of the courthouse. This does not include the alternates. This is just the code and insurance work, taking it back to the way it was before the fire.
But I thought insurance was taking it back to exactly like it was before the fire. So where's this $150,000?
That's alternates. That the county would pay for.
Is this the one we took up to the budget committee?
Yeah.
I thought it was $170-something thousand.
It's 149 something.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay, and that was one where we had the really expensive doors at the top of the fire escape and that sort of stuff?
$18,000 doors.
Yeah, yeah.
Start the door company.
I requested a price breakdown on those. I received an email from Johnson and Gallion on that breakdown, and my email has somehow deleted this.
It couldn't believe it either.
Yeah, so.
Probably that new phone system we got, I don't know.
I'm reaching out and trying to get that again,
Well,
so.
let me say to those that we should have hit this at the workshop, and we had a lot going on, we just didn't get there. In the budget committee, this was presented to us, actually it was brought to us by Commissioner, or not Commissioner, but, Court Clerk Steve Harrelson. And it included, I'm gonna say with my memory, a half a dozen different changes to things that aren't insurance related. It's not putting the building back. But I remember the door at the top of the fire escape, it was another door between two buildings,
Counter,
some
glass,
countertops,
panel.
whatever it was, it seemed like a really high price for what we were looking at on the list. And what you hear Matt reference there is that he's gonna find out exactly how it breaks down. And I gave them a story of when I first went on the jail addition committee in 2002. I was at my very first meeting, and they had a $40,000 alternate that came up. What am I trying to say when they made change order? And I said, well, I need to see that. And I said, well, I need to see what it is. I can't vote for something. Well, it was a mistake. It was supposed to have been $4,000. It was just an error in addition. Somebody picked, it just was a mistake. We got it fixed from 40 to 4. Not saying anybody's done anything here, but I don't have a problem with having to look at something when it's that big of a number for a couple of doors and countertops. I was the only one that voted, I think I was the only one that voted no in the budget committee, and I won't support it again tonight for the same reasons. I'm not opposed to us getting our courthouse back, acting like it was, or even better, but I gotta have a little more to go on than what that was. So,
Well, the one door I could see, it's the one from the outside, it's the door to the holding
that's
cell.
right. We figured it's probably a big, heavy security door, but we don't really know, so.
Well, I guess the question I have, so you have B, but I think really you need to add a C, because you first asked for approval for for us to approve the plans to take it back to original, so we don't hold up.
Yes, I'm not asking for the alternates right here, I'm just asking for the plans to take it back to normal. They were issued, in February.
At no cost to us.
So there's two different
No,
issues. So I
Motion
think you have
to
add a C.
approve that.
The alternates are in the budget portion of this.
I think they're down to capital projects, right? No?
Yes, they are outer capital projects, but yes, it did go through budget committee and you were the only one that opposed it. But
Thanks for that, Aaron.
I'm sorry, you said it, you know, I'm just agreeing.
I wear it proudly.
But the $149,000 is included in capital projects.
But we're not discussing that today.
I need
That is part of the
the
amendments.
plans back to normal for phase 2 restoration.
I'm making a motion for that at no cost to the county.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. We got a motion by Commissioner Waller, second by Commissioner Satterfield, to bring it back to original.
And that means no additional money, is that
No
right?
additional money.
Correct.
I can support that.
Okay.
Now, if somebody wants to do something about this tonight on the floor, they may. Someday we may have to do this. Someday we may know what it's for, but I can't tonight. So I'm on board with what y'all are doing right now.
Okay.
So for the minutes, I need to take out the total cost of 149?
Yeah, just the alternate.
Just take
part.
that out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
so we'll just read courthouse phase 2 renovation plans.
Yeah.
okay, we got a motion and a second. I'm gonna call for a roll call vote on this.
So that's gonna have $0. I don't wanna make a mistake like Van and I got going on
No.
another
Yes,
situation.
This is the plans that are covered by insurance and codes, repairs, work, and the insurance is covering these plans.
Okay. So it's, yeah, $0.
$0.
For the 150,000.
No, that's what I'm saying, I don't wanna make this mistake.
That is.
Well, if we take our ink pen and make a line through the 149 for something,
Just the-
and a
just the
line
plans
through the
excluding
Put a
alternate,
zero.
Hey, Van,
$0.
you got on here too.
$0.
as easy as pie.
Okay,
I bet everybody can, because they can't get their pens to
The
work.
insurance company actually has these plans and are working on dollar figures, and they have the phase 2 estimate from Johnson, our current contractor.
Right, but I just wanted on the record, I'm voting for $0.
Zero.
Correct.
And how much,
what you
how
have.
much is this gonna be phase 2 cost covered by the insurance?
4.7 million,
Thank you.
roughly.
This ain't gonna be $10 million before it's over.
I asked how much it
That
costs
would
to
take
give
it
us a
over
tear
10
down.
million.
Moving right along,
Any further discussion? Tammy, call the roll for zero.
Okay. Jenkins,
Yes.
Quillen,
Aye.
Satterfield,
aye,
Whitfield,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Shaver,
Yes.
Waller,
Aye.
Randolph,
Yes.
James.
yes.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Finance Director Aaron Rice. You're on.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the first 3 grants that Ms. Rice is about to read about. No matching funds on any of them.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Shaver on the first 3 grants, seconded by Commissioner Whitfield. Any further discussion? Money involved, call the roll, Tammy.
Quillen,
Aye.
Satterfield,
Aye,
Whitfield,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Shaver,
Yes.
Waller,
Aye.
Randolph,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the statutory bond for the new Director of Accounts and Budgets, Aaron Rice.
Second.
okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Shaver, seconded by Commissioner Waller to approve the statutory bond for Aaron Rice, the Director of Accounts and Budgets. Any further discussion? Call the roll, Tammy.
Satterfield,
aye,
Whitfield,
Aye.
Cohen,
Aye.
Morrison,
Yes.
Shaver,
Yes.
Waller,
Aye.
Randolph,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Quillen.
Aye.
Okay,
The next item on the agenda is consideration to acknowledge the TCRS employer contribution rate, which has not changed. This will be effective July 1st, 2023.
Mr.
make a
Chairman,
motion
I'm,
to approve,
second.
got a motion by Commissioner Satterfield to approve it, seconded by Commissioner Shaver. Any further discussion? Tammy, call the roll.
Whitfield,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Shaver,
Yes.
Waller,
Aye.
Randolph,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Quillen,
Aye.
Satterfield.
aye,
Okay,
The next item is consideration of recommendation to approve a resolution regarding Truist Bank. This is just a formality because we were with BB&T and it has switched to Truist Bank.
Truist.
We just
Motion.
continued the account.
Motion to approve.
got a motion by Commissioner Waller, do we have a second?
So I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Whitfield. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Cohen,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Shaver,
Yes.
Waller,
Aye.
Randolph,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Quillen,
Aye.
Satterfield,
aye,
Whitfield.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
The next item on the agenda is recommendation to approve distributions to the following nonprofit organizations. And this is dealing with the ARPA funds that have already been presented and approved. But we have to approve them one more time after a public notice.
Mr.
and the
Chairman,
public
I make a motion-
notice is there.
The public notice has been put
I'll
out.
make a motion, we approve 1 through 7.
Okay, Commissioner Whitfield makes a motion of 1 through 7.
I'll second it,
I got a whose money is this?
It's all-
7,
It's
That's
between,
it's all of us.
yeah,
1.
7, 4, 1.
147, 741, 471.
My question, Aaron, is all of these that's listed the second reading or some of them the first reading?
All of them are second.
I don't think so, but.
They are all the second reading. The
Like I
first
said, they
reading
are.
was approving the, sorry. The first reading
Take your
was
time,
approving,
Lucy, it's choking you.
was approving the ARPA resolutions. And all of these have been approved under an ARPA resolution at a prior meeting.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to say one thing about this. I didn't receive, the News Herald received a lovely letter from someone from the general public questioning why the ARPA funds were delegated from the 1st District to Tellico Village Fire Department. Well, Tellico Village Fire Department sits in the 1st District. The 1st District has around 2,200 residents that live in Tellico Village. The same with the Kiwanis, and actually, a portion of the Kiwanis money is going to a recycled plastics program that makes park benches. They'll all be placed in the first district. So I would just like to clear that up if you're out there listening, and there you go.
And also in that thing, the thing with the newspaper, he said when has Tellico Village ever responded outside of Tellico Village?
All the
All
time.
the time.
Tellico Village has an automatic aid agreement with the entire county. Any structure fire in the county, Tellico Village rules. So they help protect the entire county as well as Tellico Village.
Especially Simpson Road, right? Right there
Yes.
close to the village. Okay.
How are these funds distributed? Do these go like into the general funds of all of these? Are they designated for certain things? Are they paid out certain ways?
I believe each resolution mentioned either something that the nonprofit would use the funds for,
Okay,
or it was designated as a 501c3, or what would be understood by the IRS as a nonprofit. And they have to submit paperwork, official paperwork, representing those actual facts
When they
before
receive
the
it.
distributions can be made.
okay,
In addition to these meetings.
I know for like the one we did Philadelphia Fire Department, they went out and got a quote for the turnout gears,
okay, good.
the tanks, they listed all, they itemized every bit of that, equaled their 50,000, and they turned that in, so we know exactly where those
All
funds.
right, I wasn't sure how it worked. Okay, thank you.
And thank you, Aaron, for navigating, and Tracy previously, because this is uncharted, waters with the ARPA funds, so we appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Hey, I enjoy learning, so I enjoy the process, so.
Call for the vote. We have a motion and a
I
second.
got Whitfield, Chair.
Just moving the right along.
Satterfield.
I'm fine.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Whitfield, seconded by Commissioner Satterfield. There's money involved, so call the roll.
Morrison,
Yes.
Shaver,
Yep.
Waller,
Aye.
Randolph,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Quillen,
Aye.
Satterfield,
Aye.
Whitfield, Kohler.
Aye. Okay, motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, the rest of these we discussed at the workshop, with the well, I won't say we didn't. What's the number 3 special revenue fund on ARPA? Why is it also included here different than what we just did?
Well, this particular adjustment was a line adjustment, and what it was there was some, funds that were obligated to the highway department for specific roads. And so this was just to
Okay.
more.
I remember now.
Yep.
more
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion we approve 1 through 5.
Second.
We got a motion by Commissioner Shaver to approve 1 through 5, seconded by Commissioner Waller. Any further discussion?
The alternates are included.
Oh, they are. Sorry.
Well, they
Thank you.
won't be,
The alternates at 150,000 are included in the amendments in general capital projects,
is there
Which
anything
was-
else in general capital projects?
which was approved by.
I'm going to withdraw my motion. Who did the second?
I withdraw my second.
Okay. Cause I thought we'd kind of handled that up there first.
Me too.
I think there's other things in capital. Well,
There are.
do we have, yeah, we had something else in capital
Well,
projects.
then why don't we make a motion to approve 1 through 5 with the exception of the 149 for the offer?
Does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay,
Do
that's
it.
my motion.
Okay, 1 through 5 with the exception of 3.
No, with the
No.
exception of the $149,000
Capital projects.
that's in the capital projects.
Okay, got it. 171.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion
Thank you, Matt.
by Commissioner Waller,
Good
seconded
job.
by Commissioner Shaver for everything but the 171 fund.
Put that boy down for a raise. No, I'm
Is
just
it the
kidding.
full 171 or just the 149?
Just
Just the 149.
149.
Courthouse.
Okay.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Tammy, call the roll.
Shaver,
Yes, ma'am.
Waller,
Aye.
Randolph,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Quillen,
Aye.
Satterfield,
Aye.
Whitfield,
Yes.
Cullen,
Aye.
Morrison.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
he done it.
Okay.
Monthly report.
Sorry, earlier before the meeting, I distributed some summary of financial statements to each of you. And that's all of the distribution of the monthly reports.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
no problem.
Thank you.
Adam Waller, Commissioner Waller.
We discussed at the workshop that the audit committee met and, discussed the one finding of the mayor's office and the $30,000 contract done out of sorts. So we just need to vote that we all know that occurred.
And put the resolution.
Well, it's not even a resolution, we just have to vote saying we all know what happened. So
Is that a
that's the
motion?
Yes.
I'll second the motion, the fact to point out that it was the office of county mayor that flubbed up the 6th consecutive clean audit. But since he's not here, I wish he was here, it'd be a lot more fun if he was here, but I'll second the motion that we did have a meeting and discuss it.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Waller, seconded by Commissioner Shaver on the audit finding from the audit committee. Any further discussion? I'll call for a roll call vote on that.
Waller,
Aye.
Randolph,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Quillen,
Aye.
Satterfield,
Aye.
Whitfield,
Yes.
Cullen,
Aye.
Morrison,
Yes.
Shaver.
Yes.
Okay,
Then I'll do a motion to approve all the bonds and notaries.
Second.
okay, we got a motion to approve. Okay, hold on, we got a motion to approve the bonds and notaries by Commissioner Waller, seconded by Commissioner Shaver. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn?
make a motion to adjourn.
1 second, you got a second, 1 point of contact. It's been brought to my attention that there are folks that are concerned about what some of us might be sitting here texting. So for the record, I won't put it on. My niece is trying to force me to buy my great niece's cookies for cheer camp, and my wife told me I needed to pay attention. So for the record, whoever needs to know that up there, that's who I texted on my phone tonight. No more record requests will be necessary. I'm ready to adjourn.
And I haven't used mine.
I was figuring out cost per acre at Greenback.
All in favor signify.
Hey, hold on a second, hold on a
Wait a
second. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I'd like to address the board, I know it's not on your agenda tonight, but I'd like to know where we stand out on the Greenback sewer. If, y'all made any decision,
Tell 'em, Bill.
when you gonna start it or what?
Well, I've talked, I asked Mr. Clinton several times, he's actually our director of our task utility and handling the TDEC. He's 100% sure that we're gonna get it, it's just that TDEC hadn't got around to officially
Doing it.
And awarding the 2 grants. So we can't do anything, I have talked to Dwayne, I've made plans to help the city out, but I've told him the city has to put some money in. I told him to get with his bookkeeper and find out what they could do, but we're gonna make sure that it happens. We just, until I get some firm numbers, and the TDEC says, yes, we've released the money, and we're gonna get the grant, so, other than that, without saying a whole lot more, I feel very confident that the sewer problem will be taken care of in Greenback. It's just a matter of waiting on the state to relieve. Once they release the grant, then East Tennessee Development Agency will be in charge of the sewer project and putting it in.
From my understanding from Mr. Russell, I believe the grant was released to, Valentine,
I talked to Mr. Clinton, who's in charge of the grant, through the utility. What's this, Monday? Friday. And he hadn't heard anything yet unless it came out today.
Well, I think, Bill, or should I address you?
No,
Mr.
Bill,
Secretary?
Bill is fine.
You know, when we had you at the office,
Mhm.
I asked you about, no match, because you know the finances that the city of Greenback has.
Yeah,
We're getting a lot of good new people in the town now, and we're concerned about, our city sewer, and I think we've had actually 77 to sign up. I
Well,
believe when we had you at the office, I had asked you if there was a way to waiver the 35%.
no, we're working on trying to help the city, but, I still think the city at that time, before y'all got involved at one time, Dwayne said that they had up to $300,000 that they could commit.
Well, I think at that time that we asked for 1.7 million was for 114 residents.
It's 1.9 million for everybody within the city limits of Greenback, of which the city is responsible for 35% of that, which was $650,000. Now, if everybody in the city of Greenback doesn't take sewer, say half the number, say 70, which is about half what that, then the numbers go down, the matching part and the cost and so forth. So, I'm trying to hold on to the ARPA money that I have. I haven't let any of that go. I haven't designated it to anybody yet.
Well, I'm glad, because Dwayne went and bought a slot jar and stuck it under his desk.
I told him that if he get with his bookkeeper, I said, when you give me a firm amount, I said, if it's 100 or 150, 130, 100, whatever, let me know. And I said, as soon as you let me know that what the city can contribute. I never thought the city would come up with $650,000.
No
If we
way.
could, we'd already had sewer, but, like I said, holding on to some ARPA money, and like I said, if the city can pitch in a little bit, which I would like for them to, then we can get everything taken care of. Not the whole 650 or not the whole 500,000, but if they could kick in some, I think we can cover the rest of it. I don't know what to tell you right now until we officially get the work that we've received the grant and how many are going to hook up to it, but,
Well, at this time, we got 77 that's actually signed up to it, so.
well, they need to understand now is the time. If they wait, the deal, if they wait, is gonna, instead of $500, it's gonna be $2,000 or $3,000.
I believe it was 550, wasn't it?
Well, some of it's be half, but we're working on it. Like I said, I've not just let any of my ARPA money go yet. In fact, I made some people mad by
appreciate
taking some
that,
of it
Bill.
back. So I've got money holding, I'm just waiting. There's one other organization I want to try to help. That's why the city needs to help some. Like I said, whatever, I don't want to bankrupt the city, but they need to be able to kick in some, and I feel a whole lot better about it. But it's not gonna be, we're not gonna take all the money. We just need for them to, what is it saying, have a little skin in the game, be able to contribute.
Well, I think I can drag $1 or $2 out of some of them.
That'd be good. Put up a toll bridge there or something to make them come through Greenback. But no, like I've said before, I said my number one priority is to see that we have sewer in Greenback.
It's very well needed. Thank you again, Bill.
You're welcome,
Thank you,
darling.
Lord.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion do we have a second to adjourn?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Let them go home.
Time to go home.
Hey,
What?
don't go strolling out like that.